Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. So, last episode, number 8, getting a little out of hand I think, but we stopped right here. So, I didn't do anything else yet, but hopefully, if all goes well, we're going to get the upper chainstays done. And then once that is finished, we're going to mount the wheel, set the seat where I want it, weld that up and get that done, and then we're going to do a fender. Now, I want to wait. I want to have the seat in place, the wheel in place. Then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the fender. Then the wheel can get shifted back out so that I can get that taken care of. Then figure out where I want my shifting points. And while I'm waiting on that, I can knock out the fork. Oh well, either way, let's get back to it. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that process, but there's this one leg upper chainstay here. It is about where I want it. It's just sitting inside of here right now, but you can see how I coped it around the metal there. I really tried to pay attention, and I'll show you. Really wanted to pay attention and make sure that seam right here, you guys can see that in the camera, that seam is on the inside of every one of these. So it's in this way, it's down here. So no matter, unless you're laying on the ground, you're not gonna see that seam. So I did try my best to put that at the bottom of everything that I could. Looks much better that way, just a little more attention to detail. Lastly, all I need to do on this one is go ahead and cut this straight here, cap it, and then we can tack it on. All right, so now it's on there. It's not tacked in yet, but I just want to show you guys. That's what I'm talking about with the end cap, how it's running directly in line. So you kind of do it at a little bit of an angle, nice and ground down. Now I know I'll hear it. Yes, those are just laying some tack welds down and nice, just real quick. You're grinding that, it's not structural. That's super thin metal. You can tack weld it all day and just, there's no seam in there. If it didn't penetrate, you'd see the seam where it was connected, and there's none. So that's what I do. Been doing it for years that way. All right, so we're gonna tack this in. Everything is where I want it to be. It's looking pretty good, pretty straight. With the other one disappears. You're never gonna get these 100% perfect, but just do the best you can. So I'm gonna tack that in right now, and then we'll get on the other leg. Be done-ish. So there we go, got some tacks on there. I am not burning those in. I've made so many mistakes where I would burn everything in and then have to go back and take it all back out and cut things off. I'm not doing it on this. I want this as perfect as I can get it. I just threw a tack there, and then when I weld this in, I'm actually gonna, because I am not completely perfect on that arch, I'm gonna come in here and grind this flat before I weld all that in, and then once that's welded in, grind those down. I've got the other side to do. Everything's looking great. Really love that little detail right there. Pretty cool. I'm gonna knock the other side out, and I won't make you guys watch me do this again. And there we go. That was a lot more complicated than I thought it was gonna be. Had some issues with distance between this, so it was weird. It was, the bottom was fine. The distance between here and here and here and here was a little bit off. So I had to do some sectioning, but I went ahead and I sliced it here again and then moved it in, because what I'm guessing is that this tube, because what'll happen when you do diamond tube, this won't be straight, it'll be twisted a little bit. So I think that's what happened, because this looks way more straighter than that one. So that's probably what happened. It's not that noticeable, I know it, but yeah, whatever. Other than that, everything else looks good. It's all capped off in the end. Everything is just tacked in place, but I am okay with that. I think it looks really good. So I think what we'll do tomorrow is go ahead, and while I have it sitting here, I'm gonna go ahead and set the bottom bracket while I have everything in place. Once the bottom bracket is on, I'll go ahead, then we'll go ahead and put the wheel on and see if everything tries to separate. Because right now everything's being held on right here. So I think once I unbolt it, it's gonna spring open. I'm gonna have to squeeze it back together. Just have a feeling, because everything's pretty tight with this stuff. And I had to clamp it to weld it. So my guess is that's what's gonna happen. So we still need to make some type of a support that's gonna come off from here to here, because you can't just rely on this as your support. This whole back end would move. So there's gonna be support from here, which will probably be the lower fender mount anyway. So I'm fine with that. I really don't have an area to do the top. Just because you get in the way of the chain, if you're not careful, maybe come across here, don't know. Not something I'm gonna worry about. This is probably gonna be fine. I just know on round tube, if you were to just try to run it like this, the whole thing would try to twist. So, but you can see from the angle, everything looks super cool. I'm gonna get some B-roll on this for you, and then I'm gonna go call it a night, and we'll get back on it this weekend. Should be able to really knock the rest of this out. What's up? New day. All right, so this morning I was supposed to come downstairs and work out and do that. It's been a while. Your boy's getting tubby. That's what I'm saying. So I was gonna come down this morning and work out, but the way my mind works is when I know I have things to do while I'm trying to work out, I can't focus because I'm too busy thinking about, well, I've got this, this, and this. Well, so I came down here probably 6, 5 in the morning, around that area. I had to see what this was gonna look like with the wheel on, fender, and check this out. Oh my God. Tell me that doesn't look fire. So good, love it, everything about it. I did find a few things I'm gonna do. One thing I'm gonna do is we're going to take those seat posts or the seat brackets that hold the springs in, and we're gonna put them inside of here. I'm gonna cut a little slot out, we're gonna put those inside, weld them in. They're not going to stick up above that because that's where I want the springs to sit. So that's actually perfect. It'll actually move it up just a little bit. Fender. I am not sure if I'm going to use the rods yet or not. Maybe. If I do, one will go here, come out, come down to a bracket. What I think I'm going to do, we're going to lose some of this here. We'll trim that down. We'll keep it in this area. I think I'm going to make some brackets because you can see that sits right here. And I believe, yes, both sides. So what I think I'm gonna do is cut out some cardboard, make some brackets that come up and then follow back down, and then they'll bolt on. So the brackets will stay on the actual frame, but they'll come up like this and they'll kind of shape into the fender. They'll bolt from the back and do a castle nut or a acorn nut there. And then what that's gonna allow me to do is bolt the frame. This will bolt here to the frame. I do have to make another piece back here. I do not know, I'm probably gonna do a curve, and I don't know that I need to necessarily do any more bolts other than here, and then if I'm gonna run this one, like I said, I don't know about this one yet. Right now the fender's just sitting on the tire, but we've got it, you know, like I said, it's touching the frame. in all areas. So we got to get it straight. That's the difficult part. Get everything straight and then figure out, because you don't, when I go to put this on, this is going to be painted and we don't want to scratch the hell out of it. So we're going to come in, make sure that I've do got enough room. I want it to squeeze. So I'm okay with that there. That's actually good. So when I put this on, the fender goes on, then the wheel goes on, and everything should be good to go. Other than that, that thing looks so good. We'll have to work on our chain line. Like I said, these wheels are going back to the builder to get that 3-speed on there. That'll make this way wider. That'll give me some chain line that I do not have now. I'm not going to finish welding this until I have that. I'm not going to play around and have to go cutting things off. Not doing it. Learning my lesson today. I'm really digging. I hope you guys are really liking the way this looks. I think it is super good. The seat is actually right where I want it. I kind of want it right here, but it's going to have to come up just a smidgen. Right about there is where it's going to go, because it's got to give. You got to have your. Got to give some tension where when you sit on it, that the spring comes down. So if you're already here, then it's going to come down on there. But wow, I mean, I'm so glad I went with the square tube, the diamond tube chain stays. I think that looks so good. Once I get the Nexus 3-speed, whatever they want to call that, little 3-speed connector on here, then I'm going to make a plate. I'm actually going to run the cable through the frame, and more than likely, I haven't decided yet, I may put the shifter right here. Maybe something like that would be kind of cool. I don't normally put it on this side, but it'll allow me to run, once the shifter comes out, the cable can run inside and then right back out. Super neat, because if I do it over here, I really don't have anywhere. Even if I put it here, I have nowhere to run the cable unless, because the cables are too tight. There's no way I'm going to run it down and then up in the back. So it would need to have a straight path. In turn, not going to happen unless I do it here, which could be a possibility since I'm going to run a support piece here. If I make sure that it's hollow there and I run that support piece, if I put the shifter here, depending on how long the actual shifter is that I'm going to order, as long as I can reach it, I don't want to be like swatting at it trying to shift. So that is also an idea. I almost always put them on my left side. I think I may even running it here would be cool though, because it's just right underneath. You just reach underneath your leg, shift. But I'll have to show you guys the shifter that I'm getting. So yeah, pull this apart. I'm gonna make some templates on that. I don't have a whole lot of time tonight. I just wanted to come down, show you guys this stuff. Probably do, like I said, a lot more work this weekend. This should get basically almost all the way buttoned up by this weekend, minus the wheel. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's make some templates, at least for this, and then we can keep moving forward. What I'm doing, guys, is just adding this little tube here, and that's how much I'm going to keep the fender off the tire. I'll have some movement this way. So what you're going to do is push the wheel as far up as you can, all the way till it touches. And then that way you know that all you can do is you can move back a smidge and you're not going to have any fender interference. I'm not going to have these issues. Am I blocking you? I'm very sorry. Let me move so that you guys can see better. All I'm doing right now is just marking the area where I think the chain's gonna go. Battery's about to go dead, so I think I'm gonna lose you guys. If not, we'll pick it up tomorrow. All right, so this is going bye-bye. And now it's bracket time. Cut this out, and then I'll figure out the template. If all goes well, these should be the same on both sides. So I just want to draw myself out a design, and I'm gonna cut these out by hand. Nothing too fancy, just want them to look decent. I might even, do something. All right, let's cut that out. There we go. So that will go here, and then a bolt, like I said, will run through here, hold that on. So we'll have one there. I probably won't need to be this big. How do we go? A little smaller, maybe something like that. Yeah, I'm digging that. Let me trace that up, just so I know right where. I'm liking that, because then I can put the bolt Alright guys, sorry about that. The camera went dead on me. So I did go ahead and get the templates that I want, that I'm going to transfer over to the metal. And I'll just make 2 of each of these. So we've got our top, something like that. It contours the fender right here. Sits a little bit at an angle. It'll bolt through there. Still not sure if I want to just run like a flathead bolt through and then do like an acorn nut on the outside, or run a nice flat washer and bolt, go through and then riv nut the fender. I don't know if I want to do that or not, just because I feel like if I riv nut the fender, even though I've got plenty of room, that the riv nut won't hit the wheel. You will, like standing here, you'll be able to see that riv nut sticking out, and I don't want to take a chance of that. It looks stupid. So just gonna trace this on here, and then I'll cut these out, stick them together, make sure I grind them nice and flat, drill a hole in both of them at the same time, do it on the other one, and let's get this done. Kind of do something like this here. Done. So there they go. So now we're going to take these over there, lock them into where I want them on the fender, tack them to the frame, then we'll drill the holes in the fender. Probably the not so fun part, we got to drill into the fender. You need to try to get both sides exactly the same, here and up on the top. I had decided to only do 2 mounting points. I think it's overkill to do the bottom, so I'm just going to do the center, and I'm going to do the rods on the top. I think that should be plenty. So we just got to drill some holes here and here, and then make sure that I'm centered here and here. Probably the hardest part. So I'll probably do some measurements to try to figure out exactly where those are. Let's find out.